Hi everyone, and thank you very much for joining today. The topic for the masterclass today is entrepreneurial mum obstacles. So what does that mean? So an entrepreneurial mum is a mum who may already be in business or is planning to start or launch a business either in person or online, and or you might just be curious about that journey. So it doesn't matter if you are a mum of newborns or if you have older children, you're a stepmom, or even if you're a grandma, this still applies to you. So today we're going to have a look at what are the obstacles that you will be or could be facing, and we're going to just break down some of the solutions that you can have for some of the obstacles, because this is quite a broad topic and a large topic. So we're just going to pinpoint and drill down for one of the topics today. And I'd love to know what your concerns are, what your obstacles are, so that we can move forward and work together to find those solutions and strategies for the obstacles that are specific for you. Okay, just having a bit of a technical glitch. So if for those people who don't know me, my name is Carly and I am a productivity coach. And it is my passion to be working with you guys as entrepreneurial mums and looking at how you can lift those plans off the page. Now, I am just having a moment with sharing my screen. Okay, so bear with me today. All right, so the focus today will be having a look at obstacles that you may be facing. So, what are some of the common obstacles that entrepreneurial mums are having? It is quite varied, but there are some consistent themes that are coming through with the mums. So, how do I manage it all? So, how do I manage between paid work and unpaid work? Basically, time management. I don't know how to do it all. There's how do I make do with lack of funding? This is especially for the start of those people who are maybe at the start of their business or who are maybe not ready yet to launch their business or establish their business. It can be quite challenging that you may not have that funding around you that you may wish. So there's also the excelling in a bootstrapping culture. So that's by bootstrapping, it means by pulling yourself up all on your own. How do I excel in that sort of culture? Which can be really challenging, having that concept of I have to pull myself by myself up from where I am. That can be really challenging. The obstacles of battling stereotypes, subtle stereotypes. I'm speaking from a woman who is living in Australia, so I guess I'm coming from my own perspective, and this is something that I love to hear what you might be facing and challenged with your stereotypes within your community and your surroundings. What are they, and how I'd love to be able to work with you and find the pathway forward. But one that might be a bit more common for all of us is mum guilt. Yep, it's real, and yes, it is possible to be able to manage your way through that and not to have to wear it all the time. Another obstacle that some of us may be feeling is that imposter syndrome. That's a big topic to be covered. Poor self-care, lack of support that can be in terms of emotional support or encouragement, especially for those who are entrepreneurial mums, but even for mums who aren't wishing to start a plan or a business. Sometimes it can be really challenging to find that lack of support and sometimes to be taken seriously. And that's one thing that can really impact on that confidence, is how do I take myself seriously, and are others taking what I say seriously? And finally, but not last point, but staying true to yourself. It can be very, very hard trying to stay true to who you are with all the challenges and obstacles that business holds and that motherhood holds as well. So the one that we're going to focus on today, otherwise we will be here all week, is going to be looking at the balance between paid and unpaid work. So that in essence is looking at time management. How do we get that balance between paid and unpaid work fit right for you? So to get some clarity, unpaid work could mean things like mum life, the things that you do not receive a financial reimbursement for, but you may have reimbursements in other ways. So it's just the time that you spend with your children, the house duties, the driving around to different activities that you might do, the cooking, the cleaning, the volunteer work that you might do for the coaching, the training with kids. It's any time that you are mum life. What's what I call mum life. Also, you can have a lot of unpaid work, which is, I guess, in the entrepreneurial mum sense, is that you are doing stuff that needs to be done, but may not be bringing in that revenue at that point in time, which may be, if you're starting out, you might be in that ideation phase of creating that concept or doing the research behind the product that you're going to be launching, or trying to find that super niche that you want to be creating and understanding their needs. So it's all this developmental stuff, the preparation that comes in before you launch, or it could be that you have an established business and there's a lot of stuff that you sometimes need to do to keep the business rolling, and it needs to be done, but it doesn't always bring in the money. So paid work is something that you do that will receive that monetary income. So it can be working for someone else. Even though you might be an entrepreneurial mum, you still might be working for someone else to get that revenue in, or it might be the revenue that you get in from your business, which is awesome. So there's, just by having a little look here, there is so much to manage just on this one particular topic. So much to manage. How do we find that balance? And that can be really, really tricky. So the best way is to improve your productivity. So one of the things you can and could do is improve your productivity. And productivity means, how do I get the best possible outcome effectively, efficiently, and consistently? That's a big point, is doing it consistently. So how do I get a good quality outcome that's effective, efficient, and that can be done consistently? And that's what my passion is. So the balance between unpaid and paid work. Where do I start? That is a great question, and one that I get a lot. Where do I even start? First things is to understand how you use your time. You can create a time audit. Sit down for a week or more and record or reflect down on how you spend all of your time. The more thorough you can be in this process, the more useful that this audit will be. So I'll say that again. The more thorough you can be in this process, the more effective the audit will be. Have a think about maybe from the start of the day to the end of the day. And I understand different families have and different jobs have different timetables. Some are very flexible or inconsistent. That's why sometimes doing it over a 2-week period may be more beneficial. What you are going to gather from doing a time audit and writing down what exactly you do, and it will help you to see clearly where you are actually spending your time. And don't try and do, when you're doing your audit, it's best to be honest. It's best to be your truest self. And that's one of the obstacles that we also face. Be yourself. If you actually get up in the morning and you spend that 30 minutes reading a book, or you spend that 30 minutes on social media or whatever it is, or you wake up when the kids start waking you up, whatever time that may be, please be consistent, because this process, having a look at this audit, it's like taking a photo. From there, what we can do is have a look at where you are excelling, what is it that you're doing that is effective, what is it that's efficient, and what allows you to be consistent. And then you'll see that there are also other aspects of your everyday that aren't efficient, that aren't effective, and that give outcomes that aren't important to you. And these are the areas that we can work on to improve your productivity. It will also allow you to see, maybe there are things that I don't need to do. Maybe there are things that I don't need to do. We don't have to be the super mum. We can allow others to assist us. So that's outsourcing. It could be in your business or in your mum life. Maybe I do need to do less. How can I outsource? And that's another masterclass that I have done, is looking at different ways we can outsource. With your audit, you can also have a look at, does it connect with my values? So this is, you're like, oh, I don't know. I never sort of have that sense of satisfaction. I'm doing all of this, but there's no joy in what I do. That may be because there is a disconnect between what you're doing and what your values are. We do not take much time, the most of us, in knowing what our values are, let alone having a look and exploring at, are you living by your values? And also, this is a process and values change over time. So it's something that it's good to, pardon me, reflect on. But with your audit, your time audit, it will be able to be a mirror for you to have a look at. If my value is, for example, health, when I'm looking from my Monday to Sunday, is there any evidence there of me living by that value? Yes or no? That's what this time audit will do. It will also allow you to celebrate that, you are winning in some areas. It may be small some weeks, it may be big, but it is also essential for us to overcome our obstacles of entrepreneurial mums, is to step into a state of celebration. We need to be able to celebrate the small things. We need to be able to celebrate other people's things, and we need to celebrate our big wins. It's too hard to wait till the end of a project, or the end of a sale, or the end of the school year for us to celebrate. We need that little bit of celebration. I try and do it daily, sometimes multiple times throughout the day. It doesn't have to be through a monetary reward. It doesn't have to be even verbal. For me, one of my favorite things is doing just a little high five to myself, or put on my favorite song, and that's just my little reward. And just even acknowledging that was a win. That was a win. So that's something that I think will help you create that confidence, that will help you stay true to yourself, and that in itself is a simple but yet very powerful self-care method. Pardon me. One of the other things is being prepared to change. It's very hard for us to be productive if you are at a roadblock where you do not want to change. Before you do anything else, if you are wanting to overcome these obstacles, the first thing that we need to do is step into a state of accepting I may need to change. There may need to be change done around me. And that can be quite challenging for some of us at different times. Other two things, which I won't spend too much time on, which I'll speak about in other masterclasses, is the process of reflection. So using that time audit to be able to be reflective, and also then also being accountable. So that's looking at a little connection between celebration, being reflective, and accountability. So that's just having someone there that you can celebrate with and that you are accountable to for those changes that you wish to make to help improve your productivity. So thank you very much for joining me today. I look forward to hearing more about your obstacles that you may be facing, and I'd love to work more with you. This is only the tip of the iceberg. If you want to learn more about the specific strategies and create something that is more customized and works for you, I love to hear from you. I want to know what your visions are, what your obstacles are, and I'd like to work with you and create a plan that will help you lift all of your plans off the page. So thank you very much for joining me to the end of this video. If you would like to, feel free to send me a message below, and I would love to work with you, and I offer you a free 30-minute consultation so we can start exploring how we can overcome those obstacles. So thank you very much again, and be kind, and I will chat to you next week.